The last episode left everyone talking, and not for the usual reasons. One minute the couple seemed fine, exchanging polite smiles on camera, and the next, tensions were already simmering beneath the surface. You could see it in the sideways glances, the clipped responses, the little sighs that said more than words ever could. It all started when arrived late to the family dinner, claiming traffic, but the way B rolled her eyes suggested this wasn't the first time. Small things like that added up, like invisible sparks ready to ignite. And the family? Oh, they were not helping. Cousins whispering, friends making quiet jokes, everyone taking subtle sides. It was a full-on behavioral minefield, and no one seemed to notice how tense the air had become. Over the past few episodes, we've watched the alliances form and crumble. Who seemed untouchable at first, started leaning more on D, and suddenly, a quiet power shift emerged. You could almost hear the gears turning in people's heads as they calculated who to trust, who to avoid, and who might be useful to leverage for a little extra drama. It's fascinating because, on the surface, everything looked normal. Smiles, polite exchanges, a few awkward jokes, but underneath the cracks were widening, threatening to shatter the fragile peace. Behavior is everything here. You notice how someone fiddles with their hair when uncomfortable, how quickly they answer questions, or how a smile doesn't quite reach the eyes. Those tiny details tell the real story, and savvy viewers noticed before the cameras even caught up. At the same time, we've seen tension in the relationships themselves. Jealousy rears its head in subtle ways. An offhand comment here, a lingering stare there. Loyalty is tested, especially when someone decides to bypass direct confrontation and vent through passive-aggressive remarks instead. It's almost like a social chess game, and every misstep is magnified because the cameras are rolling. You think you know someone, but these shows have a way of revealing sides of people you never expected. And that's what makes this season so gripping, the unpredictability of human behavior under pressure. Then there's the network factor. Producers aren't invisible. Their presence subtly shapes interactions. A question asked too pointedly, a camera angle lingering on a look, a crew member nudging someone to speak up. It all creates microdrama that can blow up if you're already on edge. And the stars feel it, whether they admit it or not. Stress bubbles beneath the surface until someone snaps or refuses to play along. You might watch and laugh at the awkward tension, but behind the scenes, emotions are running high. And decisions made in these moments can have huge consequences later. And let's not forget the small behavioral frictions that have been brewing. Rue has been unusually defensive, snapping over minor things that wouldn't normally matter. Rue seems to be holding back, measuring every word as if waiting for the perfect moment to unleash a verbal bomb. Even shared meals have become arenas for subtle power plays, the polite conversation masking an underlying strategy. It's all these little behaviors that make the eventual explosion inevitable. The relationships, the alliances, the silent rivalries, they all set the stage perfectly. You start to feel the tension in your own chest watching them, because you know something big is about to happen. The audience feels it, the cast feels it, and you can sense the moment when a single spark could ignite the whole room. It's a mix of irritation, fear, and anticipation, the perfect cocktail for drama. And the way people try to mask their true feelings only makes the cracks more obvious to anyone paying attention. And just when you thought things were calm, the first bomb drops. By the time cameras rolled for this episode, the tension was practically vibrating through every room. What started as small annoyances weeks ago had grown into full-blown emotional pressure cookers. Raw seemed calm on the surface, but subtle signs betrayed stress, tapping fingers, darting eyes, and a tight jaw that said, "I'm holding back." But barely. Meanwhile, Bar B appeared cheerful, but those smiles were thin, almost rehearsed, as if she knew everyone was watching and trying to control the narrative. It's fascinating how behavior exposes so much. People think they can hide feelings, but the body rarely lies. Every glance, every hesitation, every choice of words tells the real story. And then there's loyalty, or the lack of it. Alliances are shifting faster than ever. publicly defended Bar O in one moment, and a few hours later, quietly shared doubts with Bar O. You see, in high-pressure environments like this, loyalty becomes transactional. People weigh every interaction. Who benefits me? Who could betray me? Who will make me look good on camera? It's a game of survival where emotions and strategy collide, and the most seemingly innocent choices can spark huge conflicts. Production pressures added another layer. Sources from previous seasons suggest that even casual disagreements are sometimes nudged, subtly amplified, or caught on a close-up to heighten drama. One moment that might have been a minor misunderstanding in real life becomes a headline-making argument in post-production. The stars feel this pressure. You can almost sense the mental strain as they weigh their reactions. Do they stay calm, knowing this could be edited to make them look cold? Or do they vent, risking a viral confrontation? It's exhausting, and it shows on faces and in body language. Started the episode unusually defensive, reacting sharply to small comments. You notice the way they speak over others, the way eyes dart toward the cameras, almost daring anyone to challenge them. It's not malicious. It's a mix of fear and frustration. They feel trapped, like every choice is under scrutiny. Meanwhile, has been quiet, observant, waiting for the right moment to act. It's a classic tension. One person brimming with visible stress, another holding back, calculating, and you can almost feel the eventual collision coming. And just when you think the storm is contained, subtle betrayals begin. A secret shared at the wrong moment, a side comment meant to be private, suddenly reaches the wrong ears. B learns something she wasn't supposed to hear, and the reaction is immediate. A flinch, a stammer, a pause that says more than any argument could. The other stars notice. Eyes lock, fingers tighten, and the simmering tension escalates. You start to feel the emotional stakes. This isn't just TV anymore. It's personal. Every reaction matters. Every choice has weight, and the consequences ripple through the group dynamic. Manipulation becomes an invisible player. Even without scripts, the network's presence is felt in the smallest ways. A producer's question, the positioning of cameras, the way a room is arranged, subtle cues that push people toward confrontation. Some cast members lean into it, using the pressure to their advantage, while others resist, trying to maintain authenticity. That struggle itself is gripping. You see hesitating, caught between wanting to remain true to themselves and feeling like the situation is slipping out of control. It's human, it's relatable, and it's impossible to look away. Jealousy is another force driving the drama. Can't help but notice duty getting more attention, and it creates a quiet tension that flares in small ways. A sarcastic remark, an eye roll, a lingering stare. The network knows this, of course. They capture it, amplify it, and suddenly these micro moments turn into full-scale conflict. The audience notices too, dissecting behavior, reading body language, and predicting explosions before anyone even speaks. It's fascinating because the drama isn't forced. It emerges naturally from how people react under pressure, magnified by cameras and editing. And the personal stakes are real. Behind the show's spectacle, stars are dealing with anxiety, public scrutiny, and the pressure to perform emotionally while maintaining their own mental health. Confides in a friend about sleepless nights and emotional exhaustion. Every episode demands vulnerability, and every word can be replayed, analyzed, and critiqued by millions online. The psychological toll is high, and it drives behavior in ways viewers might not immediately see. Fear, stress, loyalty, and envy mingle to create explosive reactions, and the camera doesn't miss a thing. Small conflicts escalate quickly. A joke meant to lighten the mood backfires. A teasing comment lands poorly. Suddenly, the room is charged, voices rise, and people are leaning in, ready to argue. RB confronts RC, not aggressively, but with a sharp edge, and the tension snaps. Everyone senses it. The energy shifts from mild annoyance to full-blown confrontation. And just as you start to think someone will step back, someone else fuels the fire with a look or a remark, making the situation worse. This is where behavioral insight gets fascinating. You realize the stars are juggling so many layers: their own emotions, relationships with others, awareness of cameras, and anticipation of editing. Every glance, pause, or hesitation is loaded with meaning. Avoids eye contact in one moment, signaling discomfort or guilt, while D leans in, signaling dominance. It's a silent battle, but one the audience picks up immediately. That's why these episodes grip viewers. Behavior tells the story even before words do. And then, a major turning point hits. E makes a bold choice, stepping outside expected behavior, breaking a pattern that's been building for weeks. The room goes silent. Eyes widen. The energy shifts again. You can feel it in every tense pause and whispered exchange. It's unpredictable, and that unpredictability keeps the drama alive. You start asking yourself, what will happen next? And who will be most affected? You won't believe the choice they made next. It shocks everyone. Even as tempers flare and loyalties are questioned, there's also vulnerability. Retreats briefly, reflecting on the chaos, giving the audience a glimpse of someone trying to manage emotions while navigating high stakes. It's a mix of courage, fear, and survival instinct. Behavior at its most raw and telling. Every decision here is a risk. Every reaction is under the microscope, and the interplay between pressure, personality, and performance creates an emotional roller coaster that you can't turn away from. And just when it seems the moment can't get more intense, the network influence sneaks back in. Cameras catch subtle cues. Someone says a line slightly differently because they know it will look good on screen, and suddenly an argument grows bigger than it would have naturally. You realize the drama isn't purely organic. Production is a silent player, amplifying emotions, guiding behavior, and ensuring the tension peaks at exactly the right moment. It's clever, sometimes manipulative, and completely fascinating to watch. By the end of the episode, multiple threads are running simultaneously: personal grudges, shifting loyalties, jealousy, public perception, and production influence. Each character's choice has consequences that ripple through the group dynamic. And the way the episode ends, you're left questioning motives, predicting outcomes, and wondering who will crack next. Behavior, relationships, and emotional stakes collide to create the kind of tension that keeps viewers glued to the screen. And the drama isn't just contained to the screen. Fans online have started picking apart every glance, every side comment, and every tiny misstep, creating their own theories about what's really going on. The cast feels it, the audience feels it, and the energy carries over into social media, amplifying the stakes even further. The choices made in this episode don't just stay in the room, they ripple outward, influencing perception, alliances, and the pressure everyone feels moving forward. You won't believe what's coming next, and it's about to change everything you thought you knew about these relationships. The moment this episode aired, the internet erupted. Within hours, social media feeds were flooded with screenshots, clips, and hot takes. Fans dissected every glance, every sigh, every pause, and suddenly minor moments became major talking points. You could scroll through Twitter and see threads debating who acted right, who overreacted, and who was secretly manipulating the situation. The conversations were endless, polarized, and relentless. It's fascinating because the story that unfolds on TV doesn't just live there, it migrates online, grows, and takes on a life of its own. Memes appeared almost immediately. One clip of DEEE staring silently at DED sparked thousands of creative captions, each twisting the moment into humorous interpretations while also amplifying the underlying tension. Even a subtle eye roll became a viral GIF, replayed over and over. Social media turned minor reactions into cultural touchpoints, and suddenly, fans weren't just observers, they were participants in the drama. Everyone had a side, everyone had an opinion, and everyone felt entitled to weigh in. Fans were split almost instantly. Some praised for standing their ground, applauding their courage to resist pressure and protect their mental health. Others criticized the same behavior, claiming it was selfish or overblown. The debate raged on across Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit, creating endless threads of argument. You start to notice patterns in how people respond. Those who have experienced similar pressures empathize deeply, while casual viewers often focus on entertainment value and assign blame quickly. It's a perfect example of how perception is filtered through personal experience. And then there's the way the internet amplifies emotional stakes. Every comment, like, or share adds pressure to the cast. They know their choices will be judged, dissected, and replayed. That knowledge isn't abstract, it shapes behavior. B can't just walk away from a tense moment. They're aware, cameras are rolling, and millions of viewers are forming opinions in real time. That awareness creates a feedback loop. The stress of performing under scrutiny increases tension, which the audience then observes and critiques, which further heightens pressure. The conversation isn't just about what happens on screen. Fans speculate endlessly about motivations. Why did C react that way? Was Dear D provoked? Or were they looking for attention? Behavioral patterns become talking points. People notice body language, micro expressions, and small decisions that might otherwise be ignored. Every glance becomes loaded with meaning. You can almost see viewers pausing clips to study reactions frame by frame, trying to understand what drove each choice. Rhetorical questions explode across threads. Would you have stayed in that situation? Could you have resisted the pressure? Was it fair to step back or speak up? These questions invite fans to project themselves into the moment, blurring the line between audience and participant. Empathy grows in some corners, while judgment spreads in others. The result is an online ecosystem that mirrors the drama, amplifying stakes and making every small action feel monumental. Behavioral insights help explain why fans react so strongly. Social media rewards strong emotions. Posts that convey outrage, disbelief, or admiration are shared widely, often drowning out nuanced or neutral opinions. That means cast members' choices, especially bold or unexpected ones, gain disproportionate attention. A quiet moment of reflection might get overlooked, while a minor argument is replayed endlessly. This dynamic can shape public perception, sometimes unfairly, but always powerfully. And yet, there's also empathy. Many fans recognize the human cost. They see struggling with expectations, trying to protect personal boundaries while navigating a high-pressure environment. They notice ref wrestling with loyalty, trying to act with integrity while managing jealousy and stress. Online, people debate behavior, not identity. That's key. Viewers can discuss mistakes, disagreements, or manipulation without resorting to personal attacks, which adds depth to the discourse. The episode also sparked discussions about the ethical implications of reality TV. Comments questioned whether production pressures pushed cast members too far, whether editing amplified minor conflicts, and whether viewers were complicit in encouraging this stress for entertainment. Fans debated these points passionately, sometimes forming mini communities to share observations, behind-the-scenes knowledge, or historical context from previous seasons. It's fascinating how a single episode can ignite such a multi-layered conversation online. Memes and GIFs continued to multiply. This dramatic gesture became shorthand for frustration, eye roll became a symbol of disbelief, and A's quiet defiance turned into a rallying point for fans who valued authenticity. Social media transformed raw behavior into cultural shorthand, creating inside jokes and symbols that spread faster than the episode itself. For the cast, this is double-edged. The recognition validates their impact, but also magnifies every misstep. And then there's fan loyalty, which is surprisingly complex. Some fans formed tight support networks around specific cast members, defending choices, sharing insights, and even attempting to influence perception. Others adopted a more detached stance, analyzing behavior objectively and calling out manipulations wherever they appeared. That division mirrors the interpersonal dynamics on screen. Alliances, loyalty, and rivalry are reflected in fan communities. The digital drama mirrors the televised drama, and it's almost impossible to separate the two. Rhetorical questions emerge repeatedly online. Could you have handled the pressure differently? Who do you trust in this group? Which behavior surprised you the most? These questions engage audiences, invite debate, and create endless cycles of speculation. Fans tag friends, comment, repost, and argue, and suddenly, a single choice in the episode feels amplified tenfold. The stakes of public perception become intertwined with personal stakes for the cast, adding yet another layer to the tension. Behavioral psychology explains some of the intensity. Humans are wired to respond to conflict and unpredictability. Online, that response is magnified. The ease of sharing, commenting, and reacting turns natural curiosity into an all-consuming discourse. Small behavioral cues, like a hesitation, a glance, or a sigh, become headline moments. Fans dissect, interpret, and often assume intent, which can create pressure or even misperception. But it also shows how deeply viewers connect with what's happening, even without knowing the private thoughts behind each action.